Magnetic potential energy. For example, this is a magnetic field. In this magnetic field, we are keeping a magnetic compass. What happens? The magnetic compass can move. The magnetic compass can just slides. That is why? Because there is some work done on the compass that is stored in the form of magnetic potential energy. Magnetic potential energy. According to work energy theorem, we already know the energy also one kind of work. Energy also one kind of work. Therefore, W equal to, work done W equal to tau into dx or tau into d theta. Now tau is replaced by force and dx or d theta is displacement. Work done W equal to force into displacement. In the same way, work done W equal to tau. Tau equal to minus mb sin theta. Therefore, W equal to tau into minus mb sin theta into displacement d theta. Displacement is d theta. Therefore, to calculate the total work done, that is called U. Total work done is stored in the form of potential energy. Total work done is stored in the form of potential energy. It is denoted by U. U equal to minus mb. It can be integrate limits within theta 1 to theta 2 sin theta d theta. So, integrate between limits theta 1 and theta 2. U equal to minus mb we already know the formula. Integral of sin theta equal to minus cos theta. Therefore, by using the same formula, minus mb minus cos theta 2. Why? Because this is upper limit, this is lower limit. By replacing this formula, minus mb, by using this formula, this can be write like this: cos theta and theta 1, theta 2, theta 1, theta 2. Now I am substituting the values of upper limit theta 2 and subtract lower limit. Therefore, magnetic potential energy U equal to minus mb into minus cos theta 2 minus, now upper limit subtract lower limit. First time we have to substitute the value upper limit and subtract the lower limit value. Minus cos theta 1. Okay. Now I have to multiply this minus within the both these two terms. What happens? Within the bracket, the signs will change. Minus becomes plus. That's why U equal to mb into cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1. This is magnetic potential energy. In this condition, special case 1. Special case 1. if theta equal to 0, if theta equal to 0, now tau becomes, what happens, minus mb sin theta, sin 0, 0. That's why tau also 0. And magnetic potential energy U equal to minus mb. Why? Because cos 0 equal to 1. Cos 0 equal to 1. Therefore, if special case 2, if theta equal to 180, if theta equal to 180, tau equal to again 0 and magnetic potential energy U equal to mb, U equal to mb. We have to one thing, this is stable state. In this condition, stable state, that means we are placed a magnetic compass in magnetic field, it executes, but if theta equal to 0, the angle between direction of the magnetic field and compass is same, theta equal to 0, then it is stable state or most stable state. If theta equal to 180, it is most unstable state, unstable state. Otherwise, if theta varies between 0 to 180, what happens? It may turn unstable to stable state. For unstable to stable state, U equal to final magnetic potential energy minus initial potential energy. Initial potential energy. That means U can vary from this value to this value. Next, another most important and very small definition, that is Gauss law in magnetism. Gauss law in magnetism says, in any closed surface, the net magnetic flux is 0. In any closed surface, net magnetic flux is 0. It can be write like this: magnetic flux is phi equal to integral of B into ds, that equal to 0. So, in Gauss law, net magnetic flux phi equal to closed integral of B bar into ds bar. In vector form of the Gauss law, phi equal to closed integral of B bar into ds bar, that equal to 0. We have to remember this thing. The Gauss law says, what says? In any closed surface, the net magnetic flux is 0. What is magnetic flux? What is magnetic flux? Magnetic flux is number of field lines per unit area is called magnetic flux. Magnetic flux is number of field lines per unit area. And next topic is earth magnetism. In introduction, we already told earth acts as a huge magnet. Why? inner surface of the earth, that is core of the earth, crust, mantle, core of the earth contains nickel and ferrous ions. These nickel and ferrous ions are in the form of fluids. Therefore, the molten fluids also moves while the earth rotates. While the earth rotates, the molten fluids also rotates. Therefore, convection motion of fluids, due to convection motion of fluids of nickel and iron, earth acts as a huge magnet. Earth acts as a huge magnet. Therefore, in moving charges and magnetism, the great scientist Einstein pointed out one thing: when current passing through a conductor, what happens? The magnetic field will be induced around the conductor like this. Magnetic field will be produced around the conductor. On the earth, what happens? There is also nickel and iron ions also. Convective motion of fluids. Convective motion of fluids, there is a magnetic property for earth. On the earth, some of these surfaces have the no deflection. We are placing any magnetometer on earth, some points, it does not shows any direction. That point is called null point. Null point. Null point means some of the points there is no deflection. Why? What happens at null points? For example, this is null point. Here we are placed a external magnetic field or external bar magnet. Therefore, the external bar magnet gives the magnetic field lines. In the same way, in this region, earth also produces the magnetic field lines. At this region, the earth magnetic field lines and bar magnetic field lines cancels each other. Hence, this point is called null points. At null points, there is no magnetic induction. There is no net magnetic induction. Net magnetic induction is zero. For example, this is the earth. Earth is in this shape of sphere. We are placed in a compass. The compass shows north direction and south direction. Suppose this is south pole of the earth and this is north pole of earth. This is equator. For example, we are considering earth as a magnet. This is north pole and this is south pole. This is north pole and this is south pole. What happens? This is the magnetic meridian line of the earth. Magnetic meridian line of the earth. Therefore, the south pole pointing towards the south is called south pole of the earth. The south pole of the compass pointing towards the earth, that is called south pole. Compass north pole indicates, shows, that is the north pole of the earth. Therefore, We are placing a compass at any north pole or south pole. The compass shows downward direction like this. And we are placing any compass at equator. Why? Because it indicates any direction. There is no particular north and south. Why? Because at the equator region, the magnetic field is not effective. Now we are discuss another important topic. Magnetic declination. Magnetic declination means the angle between geographic meridian to the magnetic meridian. This is geographic meridian of the earth. This is magnetic meridian. Therefore, this angle is called magnetic declination. Magnetic declination is defined the angle between magnetic meridian to the original meridian of the or geographical meridian of the earth. By scientists' observation, there is a difference between original meridian and magnetic meridian is 11.5 degrees. 11.5 degrees. Dip or inclination. Dip or inclination. It is defined the angle between resultant magnetic field of the earth to horizontal component of the earth. Dip is defined this is resultant component of the earth magnetic field. Resultant magnetic field can be resolved into two components. One is horizontal component, another one is vertical component. Therefore, dip is defined the angle between resultant earth magnetic field to the horizontal component of the earth magnetic field. That is called dip. Now, the magnetic declination and dip can be used in navigation of aircrafts and ships. While traveling, the pilots, captains can use the particular direction of the magnetic declination and dip. Magnetization. Magnetization of a sample means any material can be magnetized. Now, for example, this is a iron. This iron placed in a external magnetic field. External magnetic field. What happens? Net magnetic moment per unit volume, ampere per meter. Magnetization of a sample is defined. Net magnetic moment per unit volume is called magnetization of a sample. Its unit is ampere meter and its dimensional formula is L inverse 1 and A. L means length, A means ampere. Okay? Next. Magnetic susceptibility, it is denoted by chi. Magnetic susceptibility, it is denoted by chi. Chi is it is defined the ratio of magnetization of a material to the applied external magnetic field. Chi equal to I by mh. Chi is defined the ratio between magnetization of a sample to the applied magnetic field. Chi equal to I by h. Units is ampere per meter. Permeability. Permeability means it is denoted by mu. The penetrating power of a magnetic field through any material is called permeability. Permeability means, for example, here is a bar magnet and this is a plastic pen. What happens? There is no chance, there is no possibility to penetrate the magnetic field lines throughout this pen. Otherwise, this is a bar magnet, this is a iron bar. Now I am keeping the bar magnet. What happens? The bar magnetic field lines passing through or penetrate through this iron bar. This is the permeability. Next, relative permeability. Relative permeability, it is denoted by mu r. Mu r means the increasing or decreasing of the permeability of a material. Relative permeability is defined increasing or decreasing of a permeability of a material when compared with the free space. That is called a relative permeability. Depend on the susceptibility, permeability, relative permeability. Magnetic materials are classified into three types. Magnetic materials are classified into three types. They are para, ferro, dia. So, ferromagnetic materials, paramagnetic materials, diamagnetic materials. This is one more interesting and important topic. Compare the properties of dia, para, ferro, magnetic materials. Just compare like this: diamagnetic materials, paramagnetic materials and ferromagnetic materials. First one thing, diamagnetic materials. These are feebly attracted. These are feebly attracted by external magnetic field. These materials are feebly attracted in opposite direction. Paramagnetic materials are weakly attracted in same direction. These paramagnetic materials are placed in external magnetic field. They are weakly attracted in same direction. Ferromagnetic materials are placed in external magnetic field. They can attracted strongly. Ferromagnetic materials are attracted strongly. We already know magnetic susceptibility for diamagnetic materials is very low. Its value is in negative. Therefore, susceptibility of diamagnetic materials, the symbol is called chi. Chi is negative and low value. For paramagnetic materials, the magnetic susceptibility chi is small value and positive value. The magnetic susceptibility for ferromagnetic materials is very much high and positive, that is greater than 1000. Magnetic susceptibility for ferromagnetic materials is greater than 1000. And relative permeability for diamagnetic metals is less than 1, that means negative values. Relative permeability for paramagnetic metals is greater than 1. Relative permeability for ferromagnetic metals is much more greater than 1. Mu r is greater than 1. Mu r is greater than 1. Mu r is less than 1. And diamagnetic materials are independent on temperature. Diamagnetic materials are independent on temperature. Paramagnetic materials are depend on temperature. Paramagnetic materials are depend on temperature. Ferromagnetic materials are inversely proportional to its absolute temperature. Ferromagnetic materials susceptibility chi is inversely proportional to temperature. For superconductors, superconductor means a conductor which flows through the current, where superconductor means the resistance is zero. For superconductors, there is completely diamagnetic materials, that is called Meissner effect. Meissner effect means the superconducting materials completely acts as a diamagnetic materials, that is called Meissner effect. For ferromagnetic materials, they can also vary their properties depend on temperature. Depend on temperature varies. At a particular temperature, on increasing of the temperature, ferromagnetic material will convert into paramagnetic material. That particular temperature is called Curie temperature. What is Curie temperature? At a particular temperature, the ferromagnetic material will convert into paramagnetic material. Now, examples for diamagnetic materials: bismuth, copper, diamond, gold, silver, water, etc. These are the examples for diamagnetic materials. Now, paramagnetic materials example is platinum, tungsten, magnesium, manganese, etc. are the examples for paramagnetic materials. For ferromagnetic materials are nickel, iron, cobalt, and gadolinium, and their alloys, like alnico, alnico. Alnico, it is most popularly used for manufacturing of artificial magnets, alloy of aluminum, nickel, cobalt. So these are the properties of three types of magnetic materials: diamagnetic material, paramagnetic material, ferromagnetic material. Just definition and depend on susceptibility and relative permeability, depend on temperature, independent on temperature, depend inversely proportional. This is Meissner effect, varies Curie temperature. Examples, that's it. Next, retentivity. Retentivity means this is a unmagnetic material, and the unmagnetic material magnetized by applying external magnetic field. Therefore, when we are absence of the external magnetic field, the remaining magnetic property or magnetism. When a magnetic sample is external magnetic field is reduced to zero, the remaining value is called retentivity. That means this is a material. This, by applying external field, what happens? It can be magnetized. By removing of the external magnetic field, there is some magnetic property within the body, within the material. And coercivity. Coercivity means by applying any external factor to remove the magnetic property, remove the magnetic property of the material, that is called coercivity. That means required to destroy the magnetic property. That means in this condition we are magnetized. In this condition we are removing the property of a sample. That's why coercivity means the external factor acting to destroy, to remove the magnetic property of a sample. So by using these two factors we are draw a hysteresis curve. According to graph, we are drawing a plot a graph. Along x-axis the applied magnetic field, that means magnetization of a sample, and I is along y-axis. I is the magnetic property, the magnetization within the sample. That means this is external magnetic field, this is the magnetization of a sample. Therefore, remaining magnetic property of a sample is called retentivity, or required to destroy the magnetic property, that is called coercivity. In this graph, I am showing for two factors, two materials. One is soft iron and second one is steel. For soft iron, this one, that means blue color. For steel, this is called retentivity for soft iron, and this is coercivity for soft iron. In the same way, the small one is retentivity for steel, and this is coercivity for steel. So by using this one we can compare. Soft iron and steel. For soft iron, retentivity is large. For steel, retentivity is small. Retentivity is small. And second one is, in this condition, energy low loss. Loss of energy is small. In this condition, loss of energy is high. Loss of energy is high. In this condition, the coercivity is small. For steel, coercivity is large. So these are the examples. With the help of this curve, that means hysteresis. This is called hysteresis. From hysteresis curve, we can select the material to make permanent magnets or electromagnets. For example, for large retentive value, we can select to make a permanent, or for small retentive value material, we can select. This is a very ordinary magnet. This is very strong magnetic field. Thank you.